Washington.
Oh man,
They need a linebacker, safety, somebody I can take this early that I also think is severely underrated. I don't actually think he's going to last this long. I think he's going to get taken before this by somebody, and that's Takaris McKinley.
damn, a 417.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to actually last this long. But we'll see. I mean, he might end up lasting that long. Who knows? But I think he's one of the better defensive ends in the draft as well. Yeah, he had 18 tackles for losses, 10 sacks, 61 tackles. He's got a pretty good knack for getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands. Ran a 4.59 at 250 pounds, 6'2", 24 bench press. Like he's pretty quick. The only thing he can't really do that much is he can't like run through linemen very well, but
Mm-hmm.
he's got a pretty good knack for getting around them. He's really explosive off the snap. So I like him. I like him more than Taco. Uh, Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there are a decent amount of teams that have him above Jonathan Allen. I think that he's in that same like category basically. I think Miles Garrett and Solomon Thomas are like in the league of their own in terms of it, and then I think after that, uh, Takaris McKinley's definitely in the mix. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him taken in the first half of the first round. But we've got him taken as the first pick of the second half of the first round. So moving on to the second pick for the Tennessee Titans, Joey.
This was tough, man. I'm still looking and trying to think right now. I wanted. I already have Mike Williams, so I'm definitely not giving him another receiver. Um, Titans need a linebacker or cornerback. If he wasn't injured, I would definitely take Sidney Jones right here. But I mean, it's hard to take a prospect that's going to miss 4 months. I'm going to go with. Oh man, kind of a high for him, I think. Hold on, man. This is tough.
I feel you, dude.
I'm going to give him Hassan Reddick.
Ugh.
I was thinking about going with a linebacker, but they need a defensive lineman, and Reddick's pretty quick. Charlton's a better lineman, but he just doesn't fit the scheme that they need unless they'd be playing him inside. So I'll give him Reddick.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this guy, but to each their own.
What a name, though.
He does have a pretty dope name. They actually have him listed as a linebacker, not on the NFL's site, but
Okay,
they do have him listed as a linebacker in
good.
on whatever site I was looking at. The or it is on NFL, but it was on a different portion of NFL, so I don't know. This shit's all janky. But I will say my problem with him for the most part is that he was a raw talent, and he is really fast. He's definitely got the tools to be good, but something about him wasn't good enough to be playing like every down essentially for his own team in Temple. And we're talking about Temple here. So I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that he was only playing, I believe the number I read was 70% of the snaps for Temple, tells me something about what they thought about him there. I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to translate to be a solid NFL pro. All right, moving on to the Bucks. A lot of people have him taking a running back. I don't necessarily know if
They like Cook, but
I don't know if I
I mean,
agree with that.
well, mainly because it was Doug Martin having troubles. He's got a rehab. That was the biggest
Yeah.
thing. But he's fine now. He passed rehab class. He hasn't tested positive for anything or nothing like that. He said a drinking problem, I think. I mean, it'd be a dream come true if Cook was there for them. Florida State boys with Cook and Winston.
Yeah.
Too bad though. Colts got him.
Too bad indeed. I think I'm gonna go Jabril Peppers here.
Bad man.
Yeah.
At one point, this guy was being discussed as a top 5 or 10 pick, man, and then lost his identity of what position he's going to play thanks to his college coaches. making him play linebacker. I
Yeah.
mean, he wants to be a safety or corner, and they kind of fucked him his
Yeah.
last season in college.
Yeah, I think the Bucks will go Peppers here. I think he can play safety. And I think they need a safety, so that's what
I
I'm going
think
to go
that's what
with.
he'll play as well. So,
Okay, Broncos, Joey?
oh man, I thought you were gonna. Man, I'm truly torn here because I feel like they could definitely use McCaffrey's help. I'm thinking McCaffrey or an offensive lineman, and I think tackles are pretty important in the league. And I'm going to give them, in my opinion, the best offensive tackle in the draft. Give them Cam Robinson from Alabama.
Cam Robinson.
He's fell in the draft due to people thinking complaints about his shoulder. They think it could be like a long-term kind of thing, but
I just didn't think he looked as explosive as some of the other linemen that I saw. Cam Robinson's big, though, for sure.
yeah.
Big boy. All right, moving on. I got the Lions. El Lionos. I'm going to give them... Let me just make sure this doesn't... Yeah, I'm going to give them Gerard Davis.
Damn.
I really like the guy. I
I
think
do
that
too.
basically he's got like some problems where he just doesn't run like his angles very well, but I feel like in the NFL, I feel like that can be coached properly to him when it comes to how much experience he has playing college football, how fast he is. Like I watched some of his plays, and you know, when you run the 40 or whatever, you get to your top end speed for the last like second or second and a half or so or whatever. Like for him, it's a difference. He's really good at accelerating. Like he gets to his top speed really quickly, and that's what I think makes him so explosive in defense. Um, he can do pretty much everything pretty well, even if he's not a master of any particular trade. He's pretty good at pretty much all of them. So I think he's really safe pick. I think the Lions would enjoy having him on their team. All right, Dolphins, Joey.
The Dolphins, man.
Thoughts?
I'm in need. I mean, I think their offensive line is really weak. They got Tunsil last year, who will be starting at left tackle for them, I'm pretty certain, this year. But I'm going to give them right tackle or a guard, man. What do I do? Man, I think I'm going to give him Ryan Ramczyk.
You
From
son
Wisconsin.
of a bitch, dude.
I think he's really. They could easily go with Lamp. I mean, a guard or something like that. But I just feel like Jawan James is their other tackle, and he's awful. So they get a pretty good, considered by most people, the best offensive lineman in the draft. So
I might end up shocking you here with this next pick. And it's not. What's going to be really shocking is the fact that somebody's not off the board yet, who is absolutely going before this pick.
yes,
100%. Somebody is going before this pick. But I will not be picking that person here. So, with the 23rd pick, the New York Giants select David Njoku.
wow, Tony, really, bro.
I like him better than O.J. Howard watching him play.
Howard's most of his talks are number 6 to the Jets.
Yeah, I definitely think Howard's going in the top. If he's not gone by the top 15, I will be absolutely blown away. But I'm not taking him here. I'll stick with my guy I watched play. He looked like he was a really good blocker. He was really explosive out in the field. He fights for every single yard. O.J. Howard, I watched him play. He looked okay. It looked like he just wasn't used in Alabama in a way that makes me say, oh yeah, for sure. I have enough information on him being a top tier tight end in the passing game that I would be willing to give up a high end first round pick for him. I just wouldn't do it because I'm not drafting a tight end, even if he's really good at blocking, which you guys have told me he is. But I've seen a lot of concerns online of the general perception being that he is not a good blocker. Even if he is, I mean, okay, I'm not drafting a blocker in the first round at the tight end position. I'd rather draft an offensive tackle then. Like if he's a good fucking blocker, then sweet.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing with OJ Howard to me is that he is a athlete. He's huge and he's really fast, and that makes him a tight end that's an absolute baller. Maybe he's got really good hands too, but I don't know. I watched Joku. He looked more explosive to me. He looked better to me. He looked bigger to me. He looked more imposing to me. Not bigger, but he looked more imposing to me. He looked like he was all over the place, and he wasn't playing on a team that coasted to pretty much all of their victories either. So, always going to be wary of Alabama prospects every time because of how successful their team is.
Kind of. This next one's gonna be tough.
All right. Well, this next one is a joint pick. So,
Okay.
Oakland Raiders.
Fuck, I'm not sure if they would go with that.
All right. Well, we nominated some picks for these people. Cunningham. Is that Cunningham? Caleb Brantley. And I also offered up Tre'Davious White.
LSU.
And it is White. So
I need a cornerback. I mean, Sean Smith's getting slow.
Yep. So it's going to be Tre'Davious White here.
They lost Sean Smith, I think.
Linebacker is a heavy possibility for them, though, for sure. I think we'll be seeing some linebackers here at the end, at least from my end, probably, because I have quite a few of them up here. It's hard to choose between the rest of them, honestly.